What is up, guys? Brian Phobos here. We're going to do an update on BitConnect and what is going on with Trayvon James and his SEC issues, and also Craig Grant, Crypto Nick, Ryan Hildreth, and Crypto Chick, and just do a quick update on the civil suit that happened in Florida. So Trayvon recently made a video. It was actually a week ago. It popped up in my feed, but basically the SEC is going to charge him on, for 3 different reasons. And essentially it comes down to selling unlicensed securities, kind of like acting as a broker, and something else. But anyway, very, very stressful situation for him. I'm going to give my thoughts here at the end, I guess, based on that. I would play a clip of this, but you can watch his video. Trayvon James facing SEC charges for BitConnect. So obviously they got Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled for promoting unlicensed securities, and that's typical. The government will usually go after someone who's famous or has like very large followings, or that they're celebrities and the general public is going to know about them if there's something written that actually reaches the largest amount of people to say, hey, don't do that. That's typically kind of what happens, and maybe they feel the same way with Trayvon. He has a large following on YouTube, and the greater crypto community knows who this guy is. So kind of that's happening. I'll give you my thoughts on that in a minute. Let's go to the civil case. United States District Court of Southern District of Florida. And this is the third amended class action complaint. This seemed to be the main lawsuit that was filed, for the BitConnect related thing. But they sued BitConnect. They sued the director and the affiliate promoters. They sued YouTube. And then there was a few others or whatever that they named in this. But they named a bunch of people, and then they actually updated it and, even went further and sued a bunch of people basically in India. So the interesting thing about this, and it named all these people, Craig Grant, Trayvon James, blah, blah, blah. So they have Crypto Nick. And I guess they did find out his true name was Nicholas Travato. That is one thing that kind of came out of this, I guess, that they found out who that guy was. And then just like I said, the original complaint has been amended 3 times, but you can look at it there. Or you can do courtlistener.com and you can look into this whole situation. It kind of plays this out. So the original complaint was filed in January 24th of 2018. So just to back up, this isn't legal advice. I never went to law school. I'm not licensed to practice law in any state or anything like that, but I do know a decent amount about the civil procedures of Arizona, Texas, and Indiana, and most of the civil procedures basically follow English common law in places like Australia, the United States, Canada. So it follows some of the same patterns and that kind of stuff, but the procedures will be slightly different, and the way you file things are slightly different. But we can kind of pick through this a little bit and just kind of assess certain things. So again, the original complaint went out to BitConnect, Glenn Acaro, that was one of the names that always popped up, Trayvon Brown, aka Trayvon James, Ryan Hildreth, Craig Grant, Crypto Nick, and then there's Charles Wilds, Francisco Doria, Eric Harold, James Gurry, Ronald Nelson, which I don't recognize any of those. So I don't know. I don't recognize any of those. I just mainly recognize the guys who are maybe big on YouTube, and that Glenn Acaro's name always popped up in this whole thing. So anyway, you go down through this thing, and there's a couple things that are sort of interesting. At one point they were trying to get essentially a summary judgment against Trayvon James because it looks like that he did not, he didn't respond to it, and so. And in my opinion, again, this is not legal advice, but in Craig Grant and Trayvon James's situation with this, that actually might have been the smart thing to do, is just ignore it and don't respond to it, because it's going to go on for 4 or 5 years. People are going to spend all types of money in legal fees, and essentially it's going to be like, how are you going to assess any kind of judgment against these guys, basically because they didn't create BitConnect, and it's just kind of like, what's their role in it? It's just like, well, they're higher on the pecking order of these other people who, lost their money and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird. And again, I'm not trying to defend them. I'm just trying to stay neutral and just try to give you guys the information here and just give you a few of my thoughts on it. So anyway, like the common thing with this, and again, it started at the beginning of 2018 and it goes on and on and on. And what's typical with these civil suits is it's always like they're always trying to dismiss, motion to dismiss, and trying to just basically get rid of the thing. There was a lot of motions to dismiss and saying like there's a failure to make a claim, because it's like, well, what are you guys trying to do? Are you trying to say, hey, stop promoting this, get rid of BitConnect? It's already down, it's not there, people can't promote it anymore. So there's that. So everybody's always going to try to exit the thing and say, hey, like, I was just part of this like anybody else, and I lost my money, or I got screwed, it collapsed on my head too. So here was the interesting thing. In October of 2018, they tried to summons all these people from India, which I think is kind of funny, because it's like, well, what are you going to do? Like, okay, like you're adding these guys, or you're trying to get information from these guys over in India. I think that's going to be a tall order. Probably not going to find out that much. You're probably not going to find out a lot of these people from BitConnect. So this goes on and on, but basically Ryan Hildreth seemed that he did respond to it, and he keeps trying to dismiss it, and YouTube keeps trying to dismiss it because they sued YouTube as well, which I think is kind of absurd, because YouTube's supposed to be an open forum, and really, how can they control every single video that is uploaded on their platform and assess, like, is that a scam or is it not? It's just, obviously that would be like way too hard, way too tall of an order to ask of them on YouTube. So anyway, the last entry was June 10th of 2019, and again, it just goes all over the place. But it does seem that Craig Grant and Trayvon James did not answer this. So even if they get a summary judgment against them, it's going to be hard to say, well, you're going to essentially ask the judge, well, charge these guys with, place a judgment against them for this amount. It's going to be hard to even prove that, that they were kind of like knowingly sort of like getting over on everybody, I guess. I think that's going to be hard to sit there and prove that, because you still have to prove damages and all that. So Trayvon, he is still consistently making videos, just cranking away at the crypto stuff. And the thing that kind of surprises me is that he has a Patreon, and people seem to be actually like participating and paying into his Patreon after he made all this money off of BitConnect. And then at one point he had 1 million Steam power, and he was able to buy a house and a BMW and all this stuff. It's kind of absurd, but we've seen it before. I mean, a lot of people are stupid, like essentially they'll just pay into this and just get scammed like over and over again, or just, I don't know what they think, what kind of information or insight Trayvon's going to like lead them to, but hey, that's YouTube. If they decide to spend their money there, then, whatever, do that. So Ryan Hildreth, he's continued to lose subscribers. Used to be over 100,000, but he's continued to lose subscribers. But the interesting thing about Ryan is I'm kind of surprised what he is doing is not working better. He's following the cookie cutter, giving business advice, being like an in-shape guy, well spoken, all these kind of things, and hey, this is how you can make money online. But it is not gaining that much traction. Usually 2,000-3,000 views. Sometimes he'll get like 6,000 views. There's a few, but he is consistently making videos. He doesn't talk about crypto, it doesn't seem anymore. He just talks about general online marketing, affiliate marketing, that kind of stuff, investments. It looks like that he doesn't have the Ferrari anymore. It looks like he has a McLaren, but he continues to battle the lawsuit, it seems like, in Florida, and continue to try to dismiss it. And he is continuing to make videos. Craig Grant has switched mainly to making bounce house related videos, and in no way am I making fun of Craig for having a bounce house business or anything like that. I actually, it's a good business to be in. It's a respectable thing. There's no shame in hard work, whether you're working on cars, you got a bounce house business, or you have a landscaping business or anything like that. I actually respect that business a lot more than I respect the promotion of BitConnect, because essentially BitConnect mathematically could not work. And that was my complaint against it, and that's why I made videos speaking out against it, saying, hey, you shouldn't get involved in this. It's a Ponzi scheme stacked on top of a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, and it mathematically will have to exit when the tide goes out. When the market goes down, they were going to have to exit scam. It was going to essentially implode. Now, I caught a lot of flack for that. People were saying, hey, you're racist, blah, 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 blah. But, hey, we don't hear from those people anymore. So, Crypto Nick, this isn't his real channel. His real channel went down. Somebody else uploaded like a few videos and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. He's nowhere to be seen. And it almost seems like he didn't respond to the lawsuit. Crypto Chick, interesting enough, had 22,000 subscribers, still only has these 2 videos on her page, one with 129,000 views, one with 608,000 views. It helps to be a pretty girl. And I don't know why more women just don't kind of pick up on that. You just have to be semi-attractive and make some videos. For guys like me, I guess we'll just have to keep thugging it out for years to try to gain any kind of traction. But anyway, that's her. She seems to be gone. My whole assessment of it with Trayvon and the whole situation, I'm sure it's very, very stressful. And I don't know what they should do. I don't know what the settlement should be and how much he should have to pay back and all that kind of stuff. And he did say an important thing. He said, hey, is this going to go to the people who lost money? That's one thing. Or is it just going to go to the SEC? It's a very good question. I would rather see him, maybe do some community service and give some money back. I don't know. I really don't know. It would be very, very, very stressful for him, but they are probably going to try to make an example and try to tell everybody, hey, don't promote this kind of stuff that maybe seems in the gray area, or this is what's going to happen to you. The civil case, I think, is going to go on for 4 to 5 years. They aren't going to get anywhere. I don't think they're really going to collect anything. And at the end of the day, even if they do file a judgment against Trayvon and Craig or something like that, then they could attempt to appeal it, or they could do whatever. So anyway, guys, that is the update here in 2019. And again, we're not going to have a resolution for a long time. This stuff kind of takes a long time for it to play out. But if you like this video and check out my other videos, I did an interesting one on the money trichotomy that I came up with between state money, corporate money, and the people's money, cryptocurrency, and kind of the relationship between money now in 2019, which is kind of interesting. A lot of other videos about cryptocurrencies, just what I'm doing and what I'm investing in and my thoughts on it. So if you would and you like the video, please subscribe, and also follow me on all other social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Steam it. See you guys later.